Britt Tranquino owns the modeling agency Referral for Ford Models, 20-year Ford supermodels, who worked Monday through Sunday for 20 years for print, commercials, and theatrical. They also did runway and in-store blogging, but then it's blogging for their own brand. Britt Tranquino is the referral for the highest paid supermodels, talent, and producers through Ford, who worked with Ford that first 7 years out of Ford New York and Ford LA. There are 20-year producers who booked the campaigns, commercials, and theatrical jobs with them, and they were replaced by a roster of slave trade employees 2007 for anything you can buy, and people having their own brand as slave trade. So the most successful anti-slave trade ones earned the most according to federal law, and it's through Britt Tranquino, through Ford. "20 years ago, top percentage Ford New York supermodels earned the $1.4 million from 2001 to 2003. Britt Tranquino earned the $250,000. She's owed that money for winning for the USA and the world. This is separate from the slave trade agencies and agents, who are con artists who lie that they can get paid jobs separate from an agency contract through the healthcare arsenic, through published selfies for nudes for being raped. This is separate from Church of Abortion. These are the 20-year supermodels. They would have had this since day one. So they worked for Ford, and they worked with these contracts for 20 years with 22 contracts. So Britt Tranquino would be paid. They never got the $200,000 each month according to federal law. So they had to have family and support paying. And it's really important because 2,500 clients broke the law, and they never repented because they weren't accountable to. And so it caused for clients to become prostitution clients when the models became prostitutes to work for the clients because they didn't pay according to federal law the same day. So it recruited slave trade brands, and then it recruited slave trade brand families to replace the models with slave trade brand employees, and its entire families of slave trade brand family employees. And so they're not compared to any slave trade brands, major, mini, or micro, and it's city to suburban. But they would be paid this. So they would have had police go to the mall and they would buy designer clothes with their checks from Ford. So they need to have all reels resume from Ford because they withheld the resume and the pictures that first 7 years with Ford New York and Ford LA. So they need to get that from Ford and get all pictures from that 7-year period and their SAG from booking campaigns, commercials, and then theatrical jobs. But even if it's just a little less than Britt's career, they could be the most successful supermodels, talent, and producers who earned the $35,015,000 as a referral for the ones who earned the $321 million. That first 7-year period with Ford New York and Ford LA. But it's who Brittany worked with LA and New York models, Click New York, Elite and Wilhelmina New York, that first 7-year period, and then every year thereof, 10-year, 20-year. And so they need to separate the slave trade brands from the ones who are not. But they would have police go to the mall and help them buy designer wardrobe with their money that they earned according to federal law. And they wouldn't deal with the cover of Vogue photographers who are pornographers, who have celebrity styling. And they could pay them $1,800 for the cover of Vogue, but they didn't because they were replaced by nudes for those editorials. And so they said no to the cover of Vogue, GQ, Sports Illustrated, having their own brand and being a Victoria's Secret model since 2001. So it's really important to realize that they wouldn't have to have the other exclusive styling through the pornographers, but they would buy the designer wardrobe, and they earned this according to federal law.